or spinning around, which again I would recommend in the late afternoon, because often people eat because their blood sugar is low, so they want an alcoholic drink, which of course is very fattening, or they want something with sugar in it because they need that sugar rush. And so if you would spin around in the late afternoon, or anytime you feel tired, it will bring the energy level up, and that will help the body to recognize how much it needs to eat if it's really hungry, and it will give it the exercise, as if, again, you were out walking or jumping or whatever, very, very quickly. If you're running or playing a game or bouncing on the trampoline, you're trying to get your heart to move and to pump. If you spin around until you're dizzy, your heart will pump. You'll feel the heart pump. So there are many, many things. The sea vegetables are magnificent because often people actually have a thyroid imbalance because of the environmental things that are going on. All the chloride in the water is destroying thyroids all over the planet. And when your thyroid, which is the endocrine gland of energy that sets the energy patterns and burns your metabolism, if it's off, well, then it's almost impossible, no matter what you do, to get it back. So one of the first things I would always recommend is eat seaweed. They make great snacks. They come in all kinds of forms. You can have it in soup. You can eat it just straight as a snack. And there's some kinds that are especially good. Again, there's the blue-green algae, which are freshwater algae, and then there's the seaweeds, which are saltwater algae that are so good. One of the things that I always recommend is to take a little of the cheap iodine, about the size of a quarter, put it on your wrist, or in your thighs, or in the soft part of your arm, and see how long it lasts. It should last, well, I've never seen anybody's last more than 20 hours, but the stain should last. The beauty of that is it will tell you if your thyroid is functioning. If you travel a lot, here in New Mexico, sometimes we have radiant burst because of the not nuclear plants, but plants that we have that have plutonium and different kinds of radiation, plus the sun, and also coming from the earth. And so you can see how your body's doing. You're going to go on a plane, put some on. If you're tired in the afternoon, put some on. I've seen people lose 5 pounds in 3 or 4 days simply by putting a little iodine on. And even if you're allergic to iodine, if you put it outside, if you're not taking it inside, it will nourish the thyroid and support the body. So there are many, many ways to help the body. And we want to begin with saying, thank you for giving me life, and how can we help each other so that you can be a healthy body, rather than do I look like this or not. And another thing about that is that we have 3 different kinds of bodies: ectoderms, mesoderms, and endoderms, and those are different structured bodies. Sometimes that comes from psychogenetic inheritance from other incarnations. And maybe you're a Hawaiian, or a Lemurian who were 7 feet high, big boned. Well, you're never going to be like that, you know. So these different kinds of bodies have different metabolic needs and different ways of being in balance. And you can't ask an endoderm, which is the kind of juicy, soft, really soft skin, smooth skin kind of person, to be really thin. They never will. It's not their way. And so what we want to do is to learn to see the beauty in the bodies that we have, through their health, through the fact that they're not sick, that they will do what we want, and come to peace with our bodies.
I would just like, excuse me, you mentioned microwaves and the influence of microwaves on the food. Could you just refer on that a little bit?
Well, that's a very, very touchy subject. People don't like to hear about that because they are used probably virtually in every business to warm the coffee, to do this or do that. And the problem with that is, just imagine if you're sending a radiant current through a food to make it hot, or to cook it, you're going to be changing its molecular structure. And what some of the scientific studies have shown is that the nutrient value of the food is not the same. So I really feel that, first of all, we don't want to overcook. We don't want to have frozen food. If you eat frozen food, it's first blanched, so it's heated up first. Same with the microwave. It's heated up, and in that heating up, the enzymes, which are so important for digestion, are destroyed. And so again, because this is a multi-million, if not multi-billion-dollar business, microwaves, etc., people don't want to hear those things. But a quick way to do it for yourself instead of getting into the fray with everyone else is simply ask your body, shall I put this in the microwave? It makes me cringe when I see people do this for older people who often do it, or for children, because you're taking all the enzymes that they need for growth and digestion and you're robbing them of their health. And so, like it or not, again, what I would say is, rather than getting into the argument, just ask your body. Just ask your body. And if your body says yes, because your body said yes, it will not hurt you. Same way with, if you feel like having a piece of chocolate and you're not listening to your tongue, I always used to say to my children, don't eat for your tongue, ask your body. And if your body says, yes, I want a piece of chocolate right now, it's not going to hurt you. Of course, I would always energize it. Yeah. And make sure that it's balanced with your body. But if you ask your body, does it want your food heated in a microwave, I would lay you odds that it would be a rare occasion that you would get a yes out of that, if you're really listening to your body. So welcome. Yes.
Could you talk about, well, let's put it this way. I've watched a lot of people not knowing why they're here. And so they become indecisive about what they want to do. They are becoming insecure about taking decisions. And it feels to me as if the energy of their soul, of who they really are, is not flowing through the body. And
Yes.
I was wondering, what is causing that? What is keeping the energy of the soul to flow through the body so that everybody can feel who they are?
It's such a brilliant
That's a
question.
great
Thank you. Because it is the question of the day. Wherever you are on this planet, that theme is going on. And I would say that it isn't that the energy isn't flowing through the body, it's that they have never been taught to notice it, to know what it is. And so from the beginning, from a year and a half, 2 years old, we begin the socialization process, and we turn our attention outward into the outside world, not listening to the body, not feeling what the body is feeling on all of its multitudinous levels. And so we come into adulthood without a sense of center. We have a set of sessions, as you know, here at the Landstuhl called soul centering. Where is the center of your soul at this moment, so that you're going to pay attention for you? Now, when you turn your attention to the outside world, am I making my parents happy? Am I safe because they like me? And which just carries over into friends, into teachers, and on through life. I have to be successful, I have to be approved of, I have to be one of the group. And the sacrifices that we make in creativity, in the power of sense of self in order to have that. The difficulty with that is when your consciousness is outside, you are afraid of mistakes. And when we are afraid that we could lose something, that we would have failure, that we would lose our money, our position, our dignity, our love, whatever it is that we're afraid that we'll lose, that takes precedent over everything. Because there's no whispering inside that's saying everything's fine.